So you know things get real when Ruby whips out the silver eyes. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach to Nerd, and in this episode we are reviewing RWBY, episode 8 of volume 8, pretty much the premiere after the mid-season finale. And I'm really excited. So this episode is called Dark, and most of it was held in the dark, or at least during the nighttime, so appropriate. There's a lot more character development or growth in this episode in the Snee family. Like Whitley and even, their mother Willow, who is a flaming alcoholic, they were actually a lot less useless in this episode. Whitley even comes up with this idea on how to evacuate more people from the city by using their company's underground cargo ships and the drones to get people. While the forces or the guards are fighting the Grimm, they can sneak people out, which is brilliant. And he basically needs his dad's computer to carry this out, but they don't have power. What's interesting is Willow comes out of her drinking stupor of her room and says, well, we have a generator across, the grounds, basically, the estate. But Ruby and Blake go, which is interesting because you would think it would be, Weiss and somebody, since she lives there and can show them how to get there, but she stayed with her brother while he was doing his programming to try and get the ships and stuff online and carry out all the orders with the drones. But yeah, Whitley is becoming a much more likable character for me. I'm really excited. Mary Marigold, she took off in the last episode to go help the rest of Mantle. And what's interesting is she has such a ominous and grim, no pun intended, outlook on what's going to happen. Like, she's literally like, I don't know if any of this is going to do anything now. Everything looks dire and bleak, which is true. And Ruby is having a lot of self-doubt, like a ton. I mean, it's not just what happened with her sister and her sister basically implying she doesn't believe in Ruby anymore. She is 100% like not knowing what to do. Nothing is working. She is taking all of that stuff on herself, and I feel so bad for her. And Blake, she had like a really cute like bonding moment where she's like, you may not know always what to do, but you do something, and I love that about you. And she's like, you're the reason that I can be myself, is pretty much how I took that conversation. I think that's very cool that they had that bonding moment. Penny, though, on the other hand, when they brought her in, like, she's leaking green goo, which is her version of blood, everywhere. And Klein's, who's already taking care of Nora, is like, I don't know what to do about this. She's not a human being. I don't know anything about this. So, but Penny, you can see she's fighting the hack because her eyes keep turning red, and she's supposed to go open the vault, and she's fighting it. Simultaneously, there's Grimm, and we learned something creepy about this Grimm, or potentially more Grimms like this. They seem to be some freaky like experiment between human and Grimm DNA. So like they're human are people that were like maybe forced with Grimm DNA, modifying their bodies. It's gross. This is like some freaky scientist crap right here. But they're fighting this Grimm who enters this new manor, so they're having to fight. And it's not a really long fight. Like initially Blake and Ruby are fighting him after they get the power on, and he grabs Ruby. So Blake thinks he's trying to take Ruby, but then Ruby figures out no, he wants Penny, and it's because she has that green goo. She looks at her hand, she's like, oh, he's smelling this, so he thinks I'm Penny. And then when he doesn't realize it's Penny, when he realizes it's not Penny, he just kind of drops her, which is so funny to me because like that's a perfect opportunity to take out one of the main characters. You already have her, just snap her in half. But the Grimm, whatever, just leave him for later. So he enters the house, and Willow is like freaking the hell out. Like, she's freaking out. And she like goes to reach for one of her bottles of alcohol, and she doesn't do it. Instead, she starts monitoring where the Grimm is. And so when Weiss goes in, because Weiss goes to help Blake and Ruby initially, and Blake's like, I'll take care of Ruby, you go help them. Which is whenever they split up, it always drives me nuts, because I'm like, you guys are stronger together. Plus these Grimm are no joke. And in previous volumes, I've seen Team RWBY and other teams struggle against normal Grimm. So like, this is a modified version of that. And Blake was having a lot of problems fighting, the Grimm initially. So I don't know what she thought Weiss was going to do by herself. I'm not saying Weiss isn't strong. I'm just saying. But so yeah, Weiss goes in the house and her mother's on intercom telling her, first the Grimm tries to get her and she's like on top of, above you, and she gets hit, but not as severely as she would have had her mother not warned her. Which again, if the Grimm was interested in killing, he could have killed Ruby outside, or while he had her in midair. But so Penny's still struggling. The Grimm is trying to find her. Whitley's on the computer because they have power back on, trying to program with the drones to use the ships to get all the people out. Willow is losing her crap. Klein is trying to keep Nora and Penny quiet while Penny is struggling. Like, she is literally struggling not to turn. Nora grabs her hand, so Nora's awake and says, it's only a part of you that wants to do this, not all of you, which is very sweet. But unfortunately, Penny's that little part of the programming, it wins out, and so she starts heading down the stairs, and the Grimm grabs her and is like, grabbing her and squeezing her, and then Ruby and them come in, and Ruby's like, enough, and then uses the silver eyes on the Grimm, blasts him out of the window. But then he comes back and he's like, grab the girl, but then you see it's a human face. It is so creepy. So now Salem's doing some stuff that's just not natural. It's just not natural. So yeah, that is a problem. But the Grimm is defeated when they knock down one of the Weiss statue of armors down on top of it, and then you see like this black kind of smoke or vapor, whatever, just kind of come out of it. It's so Sailor Moon. I feel like Sailor Moon attack just happened and like, like the Daemon just came out. But it's really interesting. So they actually comment on it. They're like, what is that? And then, Ruby's like, that looked like a person. And that's just creepy. So also at the very beginning, the prison that's holding Crow and Robin, and of course, I like to call him Jackass Snee, and of course Arthur gets attacked, and we find out at the end it was actually by Cinder, and Cinder needs something from Arthur, so she broke him out of jail. And it's it's not good. Like, Cinder has her own agenda. Salem needs to watch out. She's stupid, because Cinder is going to probably try and overthrow Salem, so Salem needs to watch out. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode. Again, I think the character growth between, first of all, any character growth with Whitley and Willow is amazing. We didn't get to see Winter, which I'm sad about. I would have loved to have Winter just roll in and save the day. But I do love that it wasn't just Weiss trying to save her mother and brother, but her mother and brother actually tried to save her and the rest of her friends. And the mother went to save Whitley while he was in the room and the Grimm was coming. So that, to me, tells me how much she loves her children. She's just, married to that guy. Just, if you really think about it, Weiss's dad is a piece of crap. So I guess I probably drink a lot too if I had been married to him and realized he only married me for status and money. But yeah, I'm interested to see if she can overcome her addiction, how she evolves. But yeah, Whitley is getting up there. He's actually come up with ideas to help. He's not being, as much of an a-hole as he was in the other season. And quite frankly, having, again, that man as a father and having to overcome that, and your mother's a flaming alcoholic, you have issues. There's a lot of trauma in that family. So, but I love that there's a little bit more character growth and their family kind of rebuilding their family. Like how Weiss said, I never forgot you, or I didn't forget you. So I love that. And I love that Blake is comfortable enough with Ruby to actually bare her soul and talk about, how Ruby inspired her to, realize that she could be the person she wants to be and still survive in this world. That's just really cool. So I love it. I love it. I would love to know your theories on what's going to happen in episode 9, because episode 8 was pretty damn cool. So leave a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to know who's next on the nerd ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it, but hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.